What's going on, guys? IW. I wanted to take a video of a barn find. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So before we get into the video, not really a barn find. It's in a barn, but they're not really a barn find, these things. We've got plans for them, kind of, some of them, but stick around and I'll tell you some cool stories about these cars. So here is a Barnfind 1991 Toyota Supra with 68,000 miles. So it's technically my barn, but it's still a barn find. It'll be a barn find when I die. Somebody can find this car and save it. I'm keeping it for them until then. So a little bit more about this car. I bought this car in 2020. This thing is a turbo auto white package. And before you say it's not a white package, this trim was painted black. You can scratch it and it's white underneath. Car has 68,000 miles. Picked it up in 2020 out of New York, and it was at a storage unit, and the guy never paid for a storage unit, so it got sold off at an auction. And that's the guy that I bought it from that auction, I think. I don't think there might have been another guy in between there, whatever. But so that's this short story on that car. I don't know what I'm doing with it, but I'll figure it out eventually. So here are a few pictures of the car when it was still at the storage unit place before I got it. This was before the kid that I got it from bought it. And then here's a few pictures of when it was listed on Craigslist back in 2020. And then that's when I loaded it up. And a couple more pictures of just when I was bringing it back and stuff like that. And there it is with my drift car, my old drift car. And yeah. To continue on a little bit, he did take the interior out and he was tearing the motor apart to try to figure out why it wouldn't run. So you guys know this little background on this car. Then I have this car that we picked up from Alabama. This one is a 88, was a turbo manual. This was one of my first parts cars, so I pulled a lot of parts off of it, got a lot of money for the business early on. But now it just kind of sits in here as spare panels. It's out of the weather, so I keep it in case like something happens to my car and I need quarter panel cuts, or pretty much any panel on this car is good, I think. For the most part, like the fender, I think, on the other side and stuff. But yeah. How's it going, guys? You want to see something really cool? Some of you might be able to guess what's in this barn, but there are Supras. Some people call me Super Farm, and the reason's kind of clear. Got a bunch of Supras on an old farm. This used to be my grandparents' farm, and now my dad kind of runs it, but we kind of don't do hay and animals anymore. We do Supras. So technically not a barn find, but kind of a barn find. If I die and my dad dies, these will be barn finds. And could you imagine walking into a barn and finding these three cars just sitting here? It'd be wild. You expect hay and you're like, whoa, that ain't horse food in there. A little story, maybe I'll make another video on each one of these cars and go in more in depth. This one is a 90 turbo manual. It's got a bunch of little tiny problems that stops me from selling it as a whole car. And with the money that I could get out of parts, I would rather just part it out. Hate to say it, it hurts to part out these nicer cars, but just nobody wants it, and I'm not gonna lose money on it. It's business. Like the fender, the windshield's cracked, the sunroof doesn't close, and it's not a stock sunroof. The motor has a knock. This one is an 87. This one I was taking a gas tank to one of the owners of Night Run Garage and passed it and bought it for $1,200. And I love to drive it. It's a lot of fun to just drive around the farm. This 92, they only made, I've heard mixed opinions on how many they made. They only made, I think it was 800 and some 92s. And they only made 8 in this specific spec with 3K3 Garnet Pearl in manual and non-turbo. And then I had a turbo manual 1JZ swapped one that was one of 10. And that's what this car, I bought this car because I was going to swap everything from it to this one because it was rusty. And this one's just as rusty, so I'm not going to do that. I already sold the motor and trans and everything. It's shadow gray interior. It's got a nice dash in it. I'm not selling this dash. This is going in my Project 89. But yeah, it's rusty, so that sucks. But if anybody wants any more in-depth story of these three cars, I can take a longer video for you. Thanks for watching. Bye. So you heard me mention my 1JZ drift car. This was it. I picked it up in 2019 and I drifted it, took it to a couple other track events and stuff like that, and had fun with it, but the car had a lot of rust and needed a lot of work, so I ended up selling the motor to a friend in Florida. So that's the cars that are in here. Let me explain the rest of this building. The rest of this building, me and my dad, we used to work out of here. But after we had the shop built, then we started using this as parts storage. So we store Supra parts for the business. We got hatches. I mean, if you guys need anything, if you see something in here that you need, let me know. Get a hold of me on Instagram. I need to link my Instagram account in the comments or in the description. But I'll do that so you guys know which page to message, because there's a lot of scam pages. But yeah, if you see anything in here that you need, I mean, it's a lot of junk. A lot of the stuff's like parts that need refurbished or fixed, or something that like you take a clip out of and then the rest is junk. But I just threw everything over here just in case somebody would need something off of it, because I sell like random parts all the time, like screws and like, I mean, if you need like, not that one, if you need this clip or whatever, you know, so. But yeah, to continue on, got like trims, but like, I mean, these trims, they didn't get listed on eBay at the time because, I mean, it's almost perfect. It's got that one, it's got that one, it's got that one, but up there, that one needs one of these like clip holders, like soldered back in or whatever. So it just got thrown over here because I didn't want to deal with it. I don't like selling bad parts on eBay, and that's like, a lot of the stuff is bad parts, but you might be able to use some stuff off of it or whatever. So yeah, if anybody needs any of this stuff, you see anything, I've got like stock shocks, stock-ish aftermarket type shocks. I've got 7M heads. I have a lot of people asking about those all the time. I've got trims. Trims are a little bit difficult because they're not perfect usually. Stock exhaust I had for somebody. I get so many people be like, hey, do you have this? And I'll pull it off for them, and then they're like, oh, I don't want it. So it just gets thrown over here. Stock exhaust. I got front subframes or rear subframes that the rears crack. So I've got a couple of those. I've got some steering racks. Probably need rebuilt. I would recommend rebuilding, or at least having somebody look over the steering racks that I have, just to be safe. I've got hoods. I don't really have a ton. Well, I got a couple hoods back there. This hood has hood pins in it, sorry, in case anybody wants a hood with hood pins. I've got like some 91, 92 Mark III wheels. I've got some Mark IV wheels. I've got the other pair of those if you really want. I have them on a car still, but I could pull them off and put something else on. Wiper arms. Some stock turbo 2JZ stuff. This bumper I'm saving for one of my projects, and same with that bumper. This one will probably go on the JZ70. That one will probably go on my old car. I got some single piece pre-89 wings. More subframes, more 7M heads. Panel cuts. If anybody needs panel cuts, let me know. I've got quarter panels. We got these cuts. I've got interior stuff. I mean, this place is a mess. So hopefully this video doesn't look too terrible, because this place is just a mess. I know it. We need to take everything out, build some shelves, and then put everything back just to clean it up a little bit. But yeah. If you guys see anything, let me know. Thanks for watching. I have a few more cars that I'm going to go record. Probably put them sooner in the video.